Hell yeah! Let's do it, Mark!
We're doing it. We're in Champion Select. I can see it on my screen. It'll be on yours in a second here. Finally, we're underway. Apologies for the delay with having to get the isolation chambers or whatever we're calling them set up for the players who couldn't make it to stage.
I gotta get myself hyped back up, Mark. Gotta get myself ready to go
juiced.
again.
You were juiced before. Gotta get you juiced again.
Gotta get that blood pumping. All right, so we're getting into Champion Select here. First game of the tournament, first game of play-ins. Mad Lions versus Isurus. There we go. There's our Champ Select. Let's see how these bands are going to shake out with Draven being the first band here.
All right, we were talking about way back before we went back to the analyst desk about the bot lane meta, what's going to evolve. Caitlyn obviously has been seeing a lot of play in Champions Queue. We've seen some misfortune as well. Draven hitting the ban table despite getting nerfed a little bit on the recent patch, still strong enough to want to get that one out of their hands. Unforgiven also is a Draven player himself a little bit, so that's just some work done probably by the side of Isurus getting that one off the table.
Unforgiven played a lot of champs in summer, about 10 different ones, which considering League of Legends was mostly just Zeri and Sivir plus guests, that's pretty impressive. So I don't think they'll be able to completely remove his pool, but they are taking plenty of time thinking about this next ban here. Uh-oh, Mark.
Oh no.
Mark, please.
Style as well, even though he is good on that champion. So they do have to adapt.
Oh.
You see it?
Oh.
Is
Are
it
we
happening?
back? Mark,
We're
we
back.
just might be back. All right.
Get the
Come
music.
on,
There it
fourth
is.
Band. Come on, fourth band.
Did we not even get to fourth ban last time?
Nope.
Callista!
Wait, yes. All right. We're further than we've been so far today, and that is progress. All right.
All right, so Callista banned off as well. Also seeing a lot of play in solo queue and Champions queue right now. I saw some crazy attempts with different builds. There was some pen lethality eclipse Callista build where your Q is doing like 600 damage. I don't really think that's going to be the play, but you can see that taking away some of the power picks despite being on that big old nerf graphic, still being given respect.
So we've got 3 out of 5 marksman bans here in those first 5 bans. Okay, Sejuani's going to be the last one. So solo laner focus. Let's see how Isurus want to start this one off. They're immediately going to grab the Graves.
All right, Graves, if you've been following Champions Queue, I know we've been talking about it a lot. You're going to hear a lot about Champions Queue probably in the first day because it's some of the best data we have to go on, publicly available data at least. Spica dropped a 29-kill game. Going up against some of the T1 guys. And so people have been eyeing this champion as absolutely disgusting. I think you will see a fair amount of carry junglers, potentially with Graves, with something like a Hecarim being identified by a lot of people as being pretty strong probably. Did get hotfix nerfed a little bit, but still with the changes that came through, there he is exactly on time. Makes me look like a genius. I love it. The changes that came through, if you have not been keeping up with patch notes, for Hecarim, the big thing that they changed was his Q giving more stacks to ramp up. Previously, it was 2 that you would get on Rampage. As you use that, you would kind of get the cooldown lower, the damage would increase. They have lowered the base damage, but put a 3rd stack on and increased the scaling. So Hecarim has a little bit of this ramp-up time in teamfights where he becomes absolutely disgusting. They also gave him some resists on his W, decreased the healing a little bit, but made it so that he's much better about going in, getting into that fight, being a little bit tankier, and just helicoptering all over people.
Exactly. The DPS can go through the roof here on this guy. So they're going to get the Hecarim. They're going to get the Gnar for the side of Mad Lions. Back over to Isurus. It's an Ornn second pick. They're willing to just say, all right, let's scale it up here in the top side. You can have your lane bully. Doesn't matter. We're scaling for Ornn.
Yep. ADD's most played champion on the Ornn, something he's very comfortable on, like you heard them talking about. A lot of weak side play for him. He used to play in the LPL. He's used to playing on some of these high pressure situations, big stages and whatnot. So hopefully he can be this kind of strong backbone in the top side. And there's that misfortune that we were talking about, seeing a lot more play with some of the buffs that came through. She also got hotfix nerfed as well. Her strut was a little overtuned, probably. A little strong there, but still a very strong champion in the current meta.
And this matches what we would sort of expect for Isurus because they've got the scaling top laner and they've got a strong bottom laner that they can play through and play around and set up to have some success early.
Yeah, this is something that I'm very excited to see them bust out here for Mad Lions. This works well with that kind of Hecarim like you're talking about, diving in there. Seraphine's one of the best enabling champions you can get. We'll see if it ends up going bot lane. That's where it's been favored recently, but maybe that will end up in Niski's hands.
Well, this looks to me a lot, Mark, like some grievous wounds will need to be on the menu, going up against Seraphine healing as well as Hecarim's Spirit of Dread. You said that they gave him some resist. They knocked the healing down a little bit, but Hecarim's healing is still pretty incredible if he's in the middle of a fight, if he's able to get all that vamping done. Let's see how the second half of the draft is going to work here with the bans, because we do have top laners laner, we do have jungler, and we do have what I am assuming is bottom lane carry drafted for both sides, which means I need to look at support bans, and I need to look at mid lane bans with the LeBlanc and the Swain banned away.
All right, so Swain taken away from the Seraphine Swain combination. This is a disgusting combination that just results in mid-game meatballs that you can't kill.
Yep.
So no surprise, see that one taken out. The Azir did get nerfed, but it was one of Seiya's best champions. He was able to carry quite a bit in playoffs on that champion. He was very clean at it too. Almost always felt like in the right position, getting damage out. So they want to take that away. We'll have to see what else they want to pair with it. Probably not any of these that Unforgiven and Hovering, given that they already have Armit's Gnar locked up in the top side.
Yeah, he's hovering the Teemo. He's hovering his trademark Karthus there, a couple of different champions, but it looks like Talia going to be the pick instead. How do we feel about this one?
I like it. I mean, this was one of the champions that we were talking about being one of those few that Nisqy played twice. It fits that roaming, pushing play style like you heard the analyst desk wanting them to go back to. It's exactly in that wheelhouse, and Nisqy himself does play it very well, and it puts pressure now on Seiya and Grell to kind of try to control him, because if you don't, Nisqy will take over the game.
He'll take over the game, and he'll set up Elyoya to just be able to rampage through these team fights as well. I've got my eyes on the mid-jungle combinations of both of these teams so much, as we've got Lissandra locked in. I assume this would be Seiya's pick here in the mid lane. Now I still need to see what that support is going to be. Where's the last one at? Isserus, how are we going to finish this bottom lane? What will be paired up with the Misfortune?
They have played a fair amount of Alistar. It does potentially work with this kind of engage, wanting to instantly blow someone up against these Seraphine team comp where you want to finish someone off. Amumu kind of fits that similar idea where you want to go in, you want to kill someone, probably a little bit stronger in lane as well, whereas Alistar does need like level 3 and whatnot.
Plus Amumu and Misfortune together, plus the Ornn. This is the massive AoE team fight wombo combo. If you manage to line all of those up and layer those one over another, it's going to be a bad time for the Mad Lions. But now, what is Mad going to put Kaiser on? Ooh, Leona, I like it.
All right, Leona for Kaiser. He is at his best, I think, on these kind of supports that can go in, engage, pick fights, really make a big impact, and they get him his Leona there to get that one done for him. Really like seeing this for him. It was obviously Nautilus I feel like he's most known for, but the Leona as well as kind of Nautilus, Leona have been the engage champions for a long time now. Will enable Elyoya to be more of a follow-up engage as well. It sometimes feels bad to play Hecarim when you have to be the first one going in.
And I like that a lot because Hecarim is not a direct tank, he's more of a drain tank. He can't be the one just eating all of that damage at the very beginning, getting bursted down before he's able to heal back up. So I like this composition. How do we feel like this is going to play out early? We've already talked about how Nisqy's going to want to roam around. We've looked at the other side. We know ADD wants to scale. Where are we expected to see these junglers focus on?
Well, so obviously for Elyoya, you still have that little bit of ramp-up time. Some Hecarims actually do get involved early on in the map if they can find a good angle for their E charge to get a knockback away knock, but otherwise it's mostly 6s you're looking at, I think, for kind of both teams a little bit, honestly. Despite the fact that they are going to play very differently, both are actually more teamfight comps than not. The Gnar can split a little bit more than the Ornn.